Everyone, welcome to my lifestyle. So today we will be making our very own Bath and Body Works foaming hand soap. So the only thing you will need in order to create your hand soap is, of course, a pump bottle, and then you'll also need some hot tap water, as well as choosing whatever fragrance or scent you like of a shower gel from Bath and Body Works. And if you don't want to typically use the Bath and Body Works product, you can use any type of product that you want, but I like to stick with Bath and Body Works fragrances just because I like to make my own hand soaps, because sometimes they don't sell that particular fragrance in a hand soap. You'll also need a spoon to mix up your soap mixture, or you can also use a tablespoon measuring spoon in order to measure your solution. So something I have here is the Winter Candy Apple. This is a seasonal fragrance, and so I'm going to be using the pump bottle remaining from this in order to use it for my soaps, hand soap. But something to keep in mind is if you don't have like the color that you want, you can always use it from the soap bottle, or you can purchase some soap dye. So keep in mind that when you're using the dye, that it is an actual soap dye. Do not get food coloring and trying to use it into the soap, because food coloring actually stains. So soap dye is what is actually used when they create body washes and hand soap. So you can use soap dye. But if you do not have any soap dye on hand, you can always keep just a little bit, a couple ounces of the remaining of whatever soap that hand soap that you had originally, and you can use that color you can use the remaining of that in your mixture, and it will actually bring color to the soap that you're using. Something else to keep in mind is what I chose is the Buttercup Berry Bellini. It smells super good, but it has a little bit of a yellow tinge color to it, if you can see it behind this bottle. So I needed to make sure that I colored it, just because I wanted to have a different color in it. And so the Winter Candy Apple is a kind of a strong fragrance. So when I get ready to mix my solution up, I plan to use a lot of my shower gel here, just to kind of get the fragrance that I want to come through in the hand soap. So we're going to go ahead and take our mixture, our remaining soap, and pour it into a different container. I'll be using it in the video to mix it in with the tap water. So I just poured it into another cup, so that way I have an empty bottle for me to be able to work with. If you don't like the scent of the Winter Candy Apple or any fragrance that you have, you can always rinse it out. So here I have my tap water. It's just plain tap water, and I actually heated it up in the microwave because it actually cooled down before I got ready to do the video. So you need it to be warm when you're making the solution, so it helps it to dissolve. So this is what the solution, the hand soap looked like. The Winter Candy Apple looked like when I poured it into the cup. It looks like about 2 ounces is what I have in that cup. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my tap water. I went ahead, it looks a little soapy because I actually poured it into the bottle to make sure that I didn't over pour the water so that it would all fit. And so I'm using about a cup. So this bottle will actually hold about 1 cup of your solution that you're making. So I'm taking the Buttercup and Berry Bellini, and I'm going to measure it into my solution, into my water, to create my soapy hand soap solution. I didn't do a very good job of filming, so I apologize in advance for that. My camera adjusted while I was filming the video. But I'm going to add in about 6 to 7 tablespoons of the shower gel here in my warm tap water. And so something that you want to keep in mind is that whatever fragrance of soap that you're going to be using, if you're going to use the remaining that's left in your container, just keep in mind that if it has a strong scent, it may kind of be in the scent that you're using. And so if you don't like this fragrance, or if you don't want it to be as strong or look like it's, you know, the actual soap that you purchased from the store, then you can just add a little bit more of the soap solution anyway to kind of help with the fragrance. But I always use a bit more of the soap solution, of the shower gel, when I'm making the hand soap solution, just because sometimes I feel like the hand soaps may not be as strong as I want them to be, sure that I'm able to kill any germs or bacteria on my hands when I'm washing my hands. So I'm just measuring it into the measuring cup here, and I'm just allowing it just a little time to absorb. These bottles are fairly cheap. So this is about $7.50 when you're purchasing the Winter Candy Apple in season. But I actually bought the Bellini on sale in the summertime for $3.50. So I recommend, like, if they have any fragrances in the summertime that you like, to go ahead and stock up on them when they're $3. And then you can also get some coupons and use the coupons with them to kind of make your savings a little bit better. And that way you'll have many different fragrances. And then stock up on your bottles. So when these go on sale, you can go ahead and purchase a couple of them, so you at least have some pump bottles around for you to be able to use. And then think about it too, if you like the Winter Candy Apple, you can always get, like, you know, a shower gel or something if they sell that, or whatever fragrance you like if they sell that particular fragrance, even if it's off season. Stock up on it, and then that way you can always have the soap year round if it's a seasonal soap. But I typically think, like, the Winter Candy Apple smells good in the winter because that's the season that it's in, as opposed to being in the summer. So once I get my spoons of shower gel measured in, all I'm going to do is just gently stir it up to make sure that it has dissolved to the best of its ability. I also did a smell test to see if it was potent enough for me, and it wasn't, so I went ahead and added an additional spoon, so that makes it about 7 tablespoons of the soap solution. And I mean, you'll be able to make plenty of these soaps with just one bottle of the shower gel. So 7 tablespoons doesn't even really put a dent in the Bellini shower gel. So I'm just going to put about 7 tablespoons in my mixture because I want it to be very potent, because I know that when I pour that coloring from the Winter Candy Apple inside, is going to kind of bring some of that fragrance with it, and I want to hide the fragrance as best as I can. So I'm just going to make sure I get it every little bit out of my measuring spoon, and then I'm just going to mix it up. If you see here, the soap is slowly dissolving. That's why it's important to make sure you have warm water. It doesn't have to be boiling hot, just warm enough for it to dissolve the soap as you're mixing it. You don't want it to be too hot where it's going to melt the pump when you put it back inside of the bottle. So here I'm going to pour in the remaining of the Winter Candy Apple, and I'm just pouring it in just for coloring, so I can show you exactly what it looks like when you use the coloring from one of the containers. Now, if I had more of the Winter Candy Apple, it would probably be a deeper red, so the more of it with the color you have, the more of the coloring it will be able to pull through. And so I'm going to add just a couple drops of the soap dye here. But first I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my bottle. I'm not going to pour it all the way up. I'm just going to pour it just enough for me to be able to drop in some of the dye. Now, I didn't want it to be too dark. I just wanted to have just a little bit, be a little bit darker than what it was. So I put in 2 drops of the red soap dye. And then I'm going to go ahead now and just pour in a little bit more of my soap solution that I've mixed up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 more drop. Now, if I wanted it to be deeper, a deeper color red, then I would put in just a few more drops of it, but I don't really need it to be really deep red. I just need like a faint, you know, red type color. Maybe this little pink will be fine. And I'm going to pour in my solution, and then I'm going to recap my pump. Just go ahead and put my pump in. You want to make sure that you leave enough space. So this will hold about 1 cup, but you want to make sure that you leave enough space at the top so when you recap it, the solution doesn't spill out of the bottle when you're putting the cap on. Then you're just going to mix up the solution just gently to make sure that the dye is mixed well, and then the solution that you placed inside is mixed well also. And then any solution you have left over, if you have any other pump bottles around, you can always use it in that. So I got it all mixed in. And it looks like the dye is mixed in very, very well. I don't see any pieces or fragments or anything. And so here I'm just pumping it into my hands. I did a poor job of filming, but I'm pumping in my hands, and this is what the lather looks like. It looks exactly like it does when you get the soap from the store, and it smells exactly like the soap that you get from the store. It actually works exactly like the soap that you get from the store as well. So I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this video of how to make your own DIY foaming hand soap. And please comment, like, and subscribe. And let me know if this works for you. Like, let me know if you made it and how it worked for you. If you plan on putting this in your regimen, you know, stocking up to create your own hand soap for the future. But thanks again for tuning in to my lifestyle, and we will see you on the next video.